Did you know that the secret to transforming your life is not found in changing the external circumstances, but in changing the way we perceive and respond to the world around us? One of the profound principles of Stoicism is that happiness does not come from external conditions, but from within, from the way we face and deal with the challenges life presents. We cannot control everything that happens to us, but we can control how we respond to it. This is the true strength of the human spirit. Stoicism teaches us that instead of worrying about things outside our control, we should focus on developing virtues such as patience, wisdom, and resilience. When we learn to accept life's challenges with calm and clarity, we find strength and peace even in the most difficult situations. This doesn't mean that we deny our emotions or shy away from difficulty. On the contrary, Stoicism encourages us to face reality directly and courageously. It teaches us that in every challenge, there is an opportunity for growth, for maturation, and for living a life of deeper meaning. So rather than becoming disheartened or giving up in the face of what cannot be changed, we learn to embrace it with a deep understanding so that each trial becomes a valuable lesson, one that makes us stronger, more resilient, and more purposeful. 1. Focusing on what's in your control. One of the most crucial principles of Stoic philosophy is the focus on what we can control, rather than allowing ourselves to be consumed by what lies beyond our influence. While this may seem simple, it is the key that unlocks the door to freedom and inner peace. In life, there are countless things we cannot change: circumstances, the actions of others, natural events, or the decisions made by society or the culture in which we live. However, there is one thing we can always control: how we respond to these external events. We cannot change the weather, but we can choose how to dress for it. We cannot control how others treat us, but we can decide how to react to them. And most importantly, we cannot alter the past, but we can choose how we learn from it and grow from the mistakes we've made. Our lives, our thoughts, feelings, and actions in any given moment are within our power to influence. This is the true freedom Stoicism speaks of. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, taught that it is not the events themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. This profound insight reminds us that suffering does not arise from external circumstances, but from our interpretation of those circumstances. Therefore, suffering is not inevitable. Instead, we can choose not to let external events dictate our emotions and actions. The key is to distinguish between what we can change and what we cannot, and focus only on what lies within our control. For instance, if you find yourself in a difficult situation at work, instead of feeling powerless and worrying about factors beyond your control, like management changes or company policies, you can focus on how you respond. You can choose to see the challenge as an opportunity to learn and grow, rather than an obstacle to overcome. By concentrating on what you can do, learning new skills, communicating more effectively with colleagues, or simply maintaining calm and clarity, you will feel more empowered and in control of your life, rather than swept up by negative emotions. The events and challenges in life will always be there, but how we respond to them is what truly matters. In every situation, we have the choice of either letting our emotions control our actions or acting from a place of wisdom and rationality. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When we learn to control our minds, external circumstances become much less significant. Stoicism does not advocate for the suppression of emotions or becoming indifferent to life's challenges. On the contrary, it teaches us how to recognize and deal with our emotions in a wiser, more measured way. Instead of allowing negative feelings to dominate us, Stoicism encourages us to acknowledge and process them with clarity and reason. This is true mastery, control not just over actions, but over our thoughts and emotions. When we focus on what we can control, we discover an invisible strength, a peace within that no one and nothing can take away. This does not mean that life will be free of difficulties or challenges, but rather that we will learn to face them with calmness, wisdom, and resilience. The freedom Stoicism offers is freedom from within, freedom from being ruled by external forces beyond our control. 2. Embracing obstacles as opportunities. One of the most profound lessons of Stoic philosophy is the acceptance of obstacles, not just as an inevitable part of life, but as opportunities for growth and self-improvement. Contrary to the common belief that obstacles are to be avoided, Stoicism teaches us that these very challenges are the true measures of human strength and character. In the eyes of a Stoic, each difficulty, every challenge, carries with it the potential for learning, for rising above, for sharpening the self, and developing beyond what we previously thought was possible. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, wrote in his Meditations, "Everything that happens to us can become an opportunity for growth if we choose to see it with the eyes of wisdom." This is a powerful and empowering mindset. We cannot avoid the difficulties life throws our way. They will appear at every turn, and there is no way to eliminate them completely. However, we can control how we face them. Do we see these challenges as burdens, as misfortunes, or can we choose to perceive them as precious opportunities for growth? One of the most important aspects of Stoic philosophy is the practice of facing adversity with calmness and clarity. Seneca, one of the leading Stoic philosophers, said, "Adversity is the school where we learn the most valuable lessons." When confronted with an obstacle in life, rather than letting it cause us distress or frustration, we have the choice to view it as an integral part of the process of learning. The feelings of helplessness, anxiety, or even pain that accompany challenges are temporary. What truly matters is how we respond to them. Instead of wallowing in suffering, we can choose to act with serenity and effectiveness, finding solutions and using the very obstacle as a valuable lesson in life. We can view life as an ongoing journey of self-discovery and growth. Challenges are the opportunities for us to explore who we are, to recognize our strengths and weaknesses, and to cultivate virtues such as patience, persistence, and wisdom. In any given situation, what matters is not the size or nature of the problem, but how we choose to face it. Perhaps you find yourself in a difficult situation at work, such as receiving criticism from your boss. Instead of feeling disheartened and angry, you can see it as an opportunity to improve and learn about areas where you can grow. Or a failure in a personal project might become the chance to reassess your plans and approach, ultimately leading to success in the future. What Stoicism teaches us is not to view challenges or failures as insurmountable or undesirable. Instead, we are encouraged to accept them as an inherent part of life's journey. They are the challenges that push us to test the limits of who we are, and in doing so, they open up opportunities for us to become stronger and wiser. As Epictetus said, we cannot control what happens to us, but we can control how we react to it. We will never be able to control everything that happens in life, but we can absolutely control our attitude and how we respond to challenges. Obstacles, rather than being things that hold us back, can become powerful motivators to strive harder, to become a better version of ourselves. The more we face adversity, the more we grow our inner strength, the better we understand our capabilities, and the more confidence we gain in our own abilities. So rather than avoiding or fearing challenges, we should welcome them with calmness and determination. Let us view each obstacle as a valuable lesson, an opportunity to enhance our strength and wisdom. By doing so, life becomes no longer a series of endless struggles, but a journey worth living, filled with endless opportunities and growth. 3. Living in the present moment. Life is a series of moments, each one unfolding into the next, and within these moments lies the true essence of our existence. Yet too often we find ourselves lost in thoughts of the past or worries about the future, unaware that the only real moment we ever have is this very one, now. The Stoics, with their deep understanding of human nature, teach us that true peace and happiness can only be found in the present moment, where we can exert control over our actions and thoughts. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, once wrote, "Live as if you were to die tomorrow, learn as if you were to live forever." This profound reminder tells us that we have no control over the past and cannot predict the future. The only thing we truly have control over is the present moment. It is in this moment that we can choose our actions, our mindset, and our emotional responses. Too many of us spend time ruminating on the past, reliving regrets, lost opportunities, or painful memories, or worrying about the future, constantly imagining worst-case scenarios. But in doing so, we miss the present, the only moment where we can make a real impact. Remember, the past is gone, the future is unknown, and the present is all we ever truly possess. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This simple yet profound idea teaches us that external events cannot dictate our happiness or our state of mind. It is our response, our ability to remain calm, composed, and accepting in the face of circumstances that shapes our experience. What truly matters is how we respond in the present, not what happens to us. Imagine you are sitting with a close friend, someone you care for deeply. If you are fully present in that moment, free from distractions, worries, or anxieties, you will experience a profound connection. You will savor the joy of their company, the warmth of their presence. The beauty of the moment can only be truly felt when we are wholly immersed in it. So how can we begin living more fully in the present moment? The first step is to practice mindfulness, a practice that involves focusing all your attention on the here and now. Whether you're working, eating, or engaging in a conversation, dedicate yourself entirely to the activity at hand. Don't let your mind wander to what has already passed or to what might come. Ask yourself, what matters most in this moment? If you are tired, take a break without guilt. If you're facing a challenging task, give it your full attention and effort. By embracing the present, you will find peace and clarity. Living in the present is not about ignoring the future or dismissing the past, but about grounding yourself in the reality of the present. Furthermore, remember that each moment is an opportunity for growth. Focusing on the present helps you recognize lessons and insights hidden in everyday experiences. It allows you to learn from your actions, improve your habits, and refine your character. When you live in the present, you engage more deeply with life itself, no longer just reacting to events, but actively participating in your own story. By doing so, you free yourself from the burdens of stress and anxiety. Living in the present moment brings freedom and joy, enabling you to live a life that is more authentic and less burdened by external expectations or imagined futures. In embracing the present, we live not just for the future, but for the fullness of today. Fourth, building self-discipline. Self-discipline is one of the most essential qualities a person can cultivate in life. It is not just the ability to control oneself, but also the determination to persist in achieving long-term goals, even when faced with challenges and short-term temptations. For the Stoics, self-discipline is not merely a virtue. It is one of the most powerful tools for attaining true freedom and happiness. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and renowned Stoic philosopher, once wrote, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, 'Today I will encounter people who are rude, selfish, and arrogant. They will bother me, but I will not let them disturb my mind.'" This is a powerful reminder not only about preparing for the challenges of the day ahead, but also about the way we live with discipline. For the Stoics, self-discipline is not only about restraining oneself from indulgence, but about holding firm to our values and principles, regardless of external circumstances. Building self-discipline is not something that happens overnight. It requires patience, persistence, and a deep understanding of the temptations we face in daily life. Indeed, one of the central lessons of Stoicism is viewing every challenge as an opportunity to exercise self-control. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, famously taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This means that rather than allowing external events to rattle us, we can use them as exercises to reinforce our capacity for self-discipline. When it comes to developing self-discipline, the first step is understanding that every action has consequences. Every small decision we make each day impacts our future. Thus, choosing to live with discipline not only helps us achieve specific goals, but also enhances our moral character and personal growth. One effective way to build self-discipline is by creating positive daily habits that gradually become second nature in our lives. Consider how your day begins. Do you wake up and immediately check your phone or scroll through social media? Or do you rise and spend a few minutes exercising, reading, and setting goals for the day? The way you start your day has a profound impact on your attitude and behavior throughout the rest of it. When you choose to start your day with intentionality and discipline, you lay a strong foundation for success in everything you do thereafter. One of the greatest challenges to building self-discipline is dealing with procrastination. When faced with difficult tasks or those we find uninteresting, it's easy to feel fatigued or lack motivation. However, it is precisely in these moments that self-discipline is most powerful. Seneca, another Stoic philosopher, wisely said, "Do not let tomorrow find you doing nothing." This reminds us that procrastination only makes things harder, whereas taking immediate action, even small steps, builds momentum and leads us closer to our goals. Self-discipline also involves saying no to distractions or things that do not serve our greater purpose. Each of us has our own distractions, but identifying and eliminating them is key to developing discipline. We must learn to prioritize what truly matters and firmly reject what hinders our progress. Finally, self-discipline is not about rigidity or harshness. It is freedom through wise choice. It is the ability to remain calm in the face of temptation, to stay committed to our goals despite challenges. Discipline is not about restricting oneself. It is the key to unlocking true freedom. Freedom to act in alignment with our values, knowing exactly where we're going and why we're doing what we're doing. Self-discipline is not a burden. It is the force that drives us toward becoming the best versions of ourselves. By practicing it consistently, we can transcend the distractions of the moment and create a life that is not dictated by fleeting desires, but by our highest aspirations. 5. Developing emotional resilience. Emotional resilience is the ability to face adversity, cope with difficulties, and overcome negative emotions without letting them control our lives. It is not about being immune to sadness, disappointment, or anxiety, but about maintaining a stable mind, controlling our emotions, and moving forward despite challenges. Emotional resilience is one of the most important qualities that anyone can develop to live a strong, happy, and meaningful life. The Stoic philosophy, with its profound insights into human nature and the art of living, offers a powerful approach to emotional resilience. Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca all emphasize that emotions are not something we can avoid, but rather it is our response to them that defines whether we can maintain peace and balance in our lives. Marcus Aurelius, in his personal writings, Meditations, offers this insight: whatever you feel or experience, it is part of nature. So accept it, let it pass without allowing it to invade your heart. This statement illustrates the Stoic approach to emotions. Rather than resisting or fighting against them, we must accept them as a natural part of life. Emotions are not what define us, but challenges that we must transcend in order to grow. Emotional resilience is not about suppressing or denying our feelings. Doing so would only lead to pent-up negative emotions, potentially causing harm over time. True emotional resilience involves recognizing and accepting our emotions without letting them dictate our actions. Epictetus, a renowned Stoic philosopher, said, "We cannot control external events, but we can control our response to them." This means we cannot avoid suffering, but we can control how we face it and what we learn from it. One of the simplest yet most powerful practices to build emotional resilience is the exercise of identifying and analyzing emotions. When faced with stressful or difficult situations, instead of reacting impulsively and negatively, we can take a pause and ask ourselves, why am I feeling this way? What is really hurting me? Asking these questions not only helps us understand ourselves better, but also diminishes the power of negative emotions. When we understand the underlying cause of our emotions, we are better equipped to manage and control them. Emotional resilience can also be developed through the practice of one step at a time. We cannot change everything in a single day, but we can take small steps each day to improve ourselves. When facing adversity, instead of viewing the entire problem as an overwhelming burden, we can break it down into smaller, manageable parts. Remember that each small step leads us closer to our goal, and true resilience is built by overcoming one challenge at a time. Another way to build emotional resilience when confronted with negative emotions is through the practice of gratitude. When we feel angry, disappointed, or fearful, rather than focusing on the negative, we can turn our attention to the positive aspects of our lives. This practice not only helps to soothe our emotions, but also helps us maintain a more optimistic outlook. Seneca, in his writings, wisely stated, "It's not the events that harm us, but how we react to them." By changing our perspective, we change the way we feel about the situation. It's important to remember that emotional resilience is not a destination to be reached, but an ongoing journey. We cannot avoid failure or suffering, but we can learn to master our emotions and persist in moving forward, no matter how tough the road. This resilience not only helps us overcome the challenges of life, but also enables us to become stronger, more mature, and more peaceful individuals. As the Stoics remind us, there is nothing you cannot overcome if you are strong enough to face it. Sexto memento mori. Remember you will die. Memento mori. Remember you will die is a powerful and profound reminder of the impermanence of life. This phrase is not a call to despair, but an invitation to live with greater meaning and appreciation for every moment. Death is something none of us can escape, and it is precisely our awareness of death that can help us live more fully, living with clarity about what truly matters in the time we have. The Stoic philosophers, who have studied and embraced this philosophy for thousands of years, consider the awareness of death to be a vital part of daily life. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, said, "Remember that you will die, and you cannot live forever. Do not let the transience of life deceive you." This reminder is not just a statement that everything will eventually end, but also advice to avoid wasting time on things that do not matter. When we acknowledge the fleeting nature of life, it becomes easier to see that the pursuit of fame, money, and societal approval pales in comparison to what truly holds value: family, friendship, personal growth, and the contribution we make to the world. Remembering death helps us reassess our priorities in life. The things that seem important, fame, wealth, external recognition, often fade in significance when we are confronted with the undeniable truth that one day we will leave everything behind. When we fully realize this, it becomes easier to align our lives with values that endure: the cultivation of wisdom, the nurturing of relationships, and the pursuit of purpose. Death reminds us that our time is finite, and the preciousness of every moment becomes clear. Death also serves as a reminder of the value of the present. Too often, we forget that every second is a part of the brief, irreplaceable time we have. Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, wisely said, "We do not know what tomorrow will bring, but we can choose how to live today." By living in the present, not dwelling on the past or worrying about the future, we practice a key principle of Stoicism: the recognition that the only time we truly possess is now. Memento mori encourages us not to fear death, but to use the awareness of our mortality as a motivation to live more intentionally. When we realize that we will one day leave this world, we are less likely to fear challenges and adversity, for we understand that they are temporary, fleeting parts of a much larger journey. We are not bound by the trivialities of life, but are freed to focus on what truly matters: living with purpose, integrity, and wisdom. A practical exercise that we can use to live with an awareness of death is to meditate on mortality. Each day, take a moment to reflect on the transience of life. Acknowledge that death is inevitable, and think about how you want to live in light of this reality. By imagining your life as finite, you will gain a deeper sense of urgency to live meaningfully, making every moment count. This exercise will help you become more conscious of your priorities and reduce your tendency to squander time on things that ultimately don't matter. Incorporating the principle of memento mori into our lives can ignite a passion to pursue our deepest aspirations and goals. We will be less distracted by fleeting pursuits and more focused on what is truly important and enduring. Live in such a way that, when you look back on your life, you will not feel regret but satisfaction, knowing you lived fully, rightly, and with freedom. The reminder of death is not meant to make us fearful, but to awaken us to the reality that we have one life, and it is too precious to waste. To face death is to embrace life. It is a call to live with awareness, to cherish the present moment, and to avoid falling into the trap of trivial distractions. Memento mori is not a gloomy reminder of our mortality, but a call to live vibrantly and intentionally. In this way, death is not an end, but a powerful motivator to live with purpose. It is a constant call to make our lives matter, to live each moment as if it were the last, and to ensure that we do not squander the precious time we are given. Remembering that we will die frees us to live authentically, fearlessly, and fully. 7. Practicing gratitude. Gratitude is one of the most profound virtues promoted by Stoic philosophy, and it is also one of the most important practices for fostering lasting happiness in life. While many people seek happiness in external things, material possessions, success, and achievements, Stoicism teaches us that true happiness comes from within, and that gratitude is the key that unlocks this inner peace. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, wrote in his Meditations, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, 'Today I will meet people who are ignorant and rude, but I will not let them take away my joy.'" This reminder shows us that no matter how chaotic the outside world may be, maintaining an attitude of gratitude and positivity will allow us to preserve our inner peace. Gratitude, according to Stoic philosophy, is not just a fleeting emotion or a superficial act. It is an attitude towards life, a way of thinking and perceiving the world around us. Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, taught, "Do not complain about what you do not have. Be thankful for what you already have." Practicing gratitude is not about forcing ourselves to feel content with everything. It's about recognizing and appreciating the things we already have, the things we often take for granted. Gratitude helps us adjust our mindset, allowing us to see the value in the simple things that we might otherwise overlook. Too often we get caught up in the pursuit of grand goals and forget that it is the little things, like a beautiful morning, a warm meal, or a heartfelt conversation, that make life truly wonderful. Stoicism encourages us to cherish these moments, as they are the true treasures life offers. When we practice gratitude, we also learn to let go of negativity, resentment, and worry. Gratitude transforms our failures into opportunities for learning and growth. It's not just about thanking life for the good things it provides. It's about understanding that everything, whether joyful or painful, has its purpose and value. To practice gratitude in everyday life, we can begin with small but powerful actions. Each morning, take a moment to reflect on the good things you have: your family, your friends, your health, your work, or even the peacefulness within your soul. Once we recognize these blessings, joy and contentment will naturally fill our hearts. Another practical tool is keeping a gratitude journal. Writing down the things you're grateful for each day can help establish a routine of mindfulness and appreciation. Whenever you feel discouraged or lost, you can revisit this journal and remind yourself of the countless reasons you have to smile and embrace life. Gratitude is also a powerful way to strengthen relationships with others. When you express gratitude towards people, you will naturally feel a stronger bond with them, and they in turn will feel appreciated. A simple thank you, holding the door open for someone, or simply listening with genuine attention can create meaningful connections and foster love and respect. By practicing gratitude every day, we not only create a happier life for ourselves, but also contribute to building a better world. When everyone practices gratitude and appreciates the good things around them, we create a strong, compassionate, and connected community. Stoicism teaches us that happiness does not come from what we have, but from how we perceive and approach life. Gratitude is the foundation upon which this perception rests. We must practice gratitude not just on sunny days, but especially during difficult times. For it is in those moments that gratitude will give us strength, resilience, and the ability to overcome any challenges. By cultivating gratitude, we align ourselves with the Stoic wisdom that true happiness lies in how we live our lives, not in what we accumulate. Let gratitude be the lens through which you view the world, helping you live with clarity, purpose, and peace. 8. Focusing on personal excellence. Personal excellence is not a destination, but a never-ending journey, an ongoing process of striving to become the best version of ourselves. In a world filled with challenges and distractions, focusing on personal excellence becomes an essential life strategy. It requires a blend of strong will, patience, and self-awareness, all aimed at continuous self-improvement and achieving the highest standards of character and action. The Stoic philosophy, developed by the great philosophers such as Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, teaches that personal excellence is not about perfection, but about continually improving ourselves, learning from our failures, and always living in accordance with ethical principles and wisdom. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This quote emphasizes that excellence does not come from controlling the external world, but from how we react to life's challenges, how we improve ourselves every day, even in the face of adversity. Focusing on personal excellence requires a high level of self-discipline. This means that every action, every decision we make must reflect the values we hold dear, not our unconscious desires or habits. Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, emphasized, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Personal excellence is built on the foundation of being proactive in our self-development and not letting external circumstances or fleeting emotions derail us. One of the most important methods of achieving personal excellence is developing a growth mindset. According to Carol Dweck, a renowned psychologist, a growth mindset is the belief that our abilities are not fixed, but can be developed through effort and learning. This mindset is crucial in helping us navigate challenges and setbacks in life. Instead of seeing failure as a personal flaw, we learn to view it as an opportunity for growth and development. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, stated, "No man is good without hard work and perseverance." This applies not only to honing skills, but also to refining our minds, patience, and attitudes when confronted with difficulties. Achieving personal excellence requires us to constantly seek opportunities for learning, development, and self-mastery. Personal excellence also demands consistency in our actions and thoughts. Every day, every decision we make should contribute to creating the life we desire. Marcus Aurelius pointed out, "Live in accordance with nature, and nature will reveal the path to you." To truly attain excellence, we need to understand our goals clearly, create a plan of action, and commit to it despite the obstacles we may encounter. Achieving personal excellence also requires understanding the power of self-discipline. Self-discipline is the cornerstone that helps us maintain motivation and perseverance under all circumstances. At times, achieving excellence requires us to say no to short-term temptations and pleasures in favor of long-term goals that truly matter. Personal excellence is not just about self-improvement, it's about contributing to the community and society at large. Marcus Aurelius also wrote, "What is good for the hive is good for the bee." This means that as we strive to develop ourselves, we must also think beyond ourselves and contribute to the well-being of others through our actions, words, and gestures. The practice of personal excellence is not something distant or unattainable, but a continuous journey, a commitment to living with purpose and integrity. We can start right now by becoming more conscious of our strengths and weaknesses and improving ourselves every day, striving to live with greater intention and meaning. Remember, excellence does not come from perfection, but from consistent effort and resilience. Every day is an opportunity to become better, to live more consciously, and to be more true to ourselves and to the world around us. 9. Focusing on personal excellence. Personal excellence is not a fixed destination, but an ongoing journey, a continuous process of striving to become the best version of ourselves. In a world where everything changes rapidly and challenges constantly test our abilities, focusing on personal excellence is not just a lofty goal, but a sustainable way of life, one that helps us rise above difficulties and grow continually. The Stoic philosophy, developed by great philosophers such as Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, teaches us that personal excellence is not about achieving perfection, but about the ability to persist in self-discipline, learning from failures, and always living in accordance with ethical principles and wisdom. Therefore, focusing on personal excellence is not about achieving temporary success, but is a continuous process, a commitment to long-term values, meaningful goals, and constant growth. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This quote reflects one of the core principles of Stoicism, that excellence does not come from controlling everything around us, but from how we react to life's challenges. Failures, difficulties, and disappointments are not inherently bad. They are opportunities for us to demonstrate resilience, to learn and to grow. Personal excellence, according to the Stoics, is not only about achieving goals, but also about how we maintain a strong mindset, a positive attitude, and persistence in the face of adversity. One of the most crucial factors in achieving personal excellence is self-awareness and self-reflection. Regularly asking yourself, what am I doing? Am I heading in the right direction? Am I living in alignment with my core values? These questions help us stay clear-headed and resolute in our journey. Epictetus taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This means that while we cannot control every event in life, we can control our responses, and it is those responses that determine whether we achieve excellence. Personal excellence is not only about developing skills and competencies, but also about cultivating mental fortitude, the ability to maintain patience and persistence in all circumstances. Every time we face a challenge or failure, instead of complaining or blaming others, we should see it as a lesson, an opportunity to improve. Seneca shared a profound insight on resilience and embracing challenges. Difficulties are a part of life, and those who accept them will become the strongest. To achieve personal excellence, one of the most important concepts is developing a growth mindset. This is a concept explored by renowned psychologist Carol Dweck, which suggests that our abilities and intelligence are not fixed, but can be developed through effort and learning. This mindset is essential for helping us overcome setbacks, push beyond our limits, and continue progressing. Every failure, every challenge becomes an opportunity for growth and improvement. Moreover, personal excellence requires self-discipline. Self-discipline is the ability to do what is necessary even when we don't feel like it or when it is difficult. It is the ability to persist, to maintain good habits, and to resist distractions. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nothing is good without perseverance." Discipline not only helps us achieve our goals, but it also helps us stay committed to long-term progress. Personal excellence also requires a broad perspective, constantly seeking opportunities to learn and grow from every experience. Sometimes the very setbacks we encounter, the difficulties we face, are actually the chances for us to gain valuable lessons. Therefore, excellence is not about avoiding hardship, but facing it with wisdom, patience, and courage. Lastly, to achieve personal excellence, we must cultivate resilience and never give up. Excellence is not something that can be achieved overnight. It is the result of a long process, a continuous journey of effort, perseverance, and a positive mindset. Every day, every hour, every minute, we have the opportunity to become better, to grow, and to become a more refined version of ourselves. Remember, personal excellence is not a fixed destination, but a continuous process, an ongoing journey filled with challenges, but also brimming with opportunities to grow. Never stop striving, never stop learning, and never give up on yourself. Every step along this path is an opportunity to become the person you want to be and to live a life full of meaning and purpose. 10. Not caring what others think. In life, we are constantly surrounded by opinions and judgments from those around us. We often get caught in a whirlwind of comparisons, striving for acceptance, seeking recognition from others. However, in Stoic philosophy, one of the most important lessons is to learn how to not be overly concerned with what others think of us, and instead focus on living according to our own values and principles. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, emphasized this when he wrote, "It is not what others say or do that harms us, but our response to it." This powerful statement reminds us that, while we cannot control the actions or thoughts of others, we have complete control over how we respond to them. When we focus too much on pleasing others or fear being judged, we lose touch with our true selves and become someone we are not, simply to gain approval or acceptance. In those moments, we stray from our essence, and our peace of mind slips away. Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, wisely stated, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This profound insight teaches us that external circumstances, including the opinions of others, do not have the power to disturb our inner peace. Our reaction to them does. If we allow the judgment of others to dictate our lives, we will always live in anxiety and insecurity. There will never be enough people to approve of everything we do, so the only way to live freely and happily is to learn to detach from the need for external validation. When we stop caring about what others think, we are free to live according to the values that matter most to us. This does not mean we should become indifferent or disregard others' feelings, but rather it means we focus on what is truly meaningful to us, doing what we believe is right despite any criticisms or judgments that may come our way. Imagine, for instance, that you are an artist creating a new piece of work. If you are only concerned with pleasing the public or meeting the expectations of a certain group, you will be constrained by their standards and biases. However, if you focus on expressing yourself authentically, free from the judgments and trends around you, your work will be bold, creative, and true to who you are. The key is not the recognition from others, but the fulfillment of knowing you lived authentically, regardless of external approval. Seneca, in his writings, once said, "Live according to your own principles, not to please others." This is a strong reminder that our lives are not meant to fulfill others' expectations. Each person has their own unique journey, and we do not need to live like anyone else. When we live in alignment with our values, even if we face criticism or doubt from others, we will feel at peace and free. Focusing on what feels true to us not only helps us live authentically, but also strengthens our self-respect and confidence. When we no longer worry about pleasing others, we can develop ourselves in the way we want and walk our own path with certainty without needing the validation of others. One practical way to cultivate this mindset in daily life is to practice self-control and self-determination. When you are faced with a situation where others might judge or criticize, ask yourself, is this truly important to me? Am I doing this for myself, or am I doing it just to be accepted? If the answer is because it matters to you, then pursue it confidently, regardless of external opinions. Remember, in Stoic philosophy, inner peace comes from living true to oneself, not from seeking the approval of others. Let go of the fear of being judged and instead focus on becoming the person you want to be. When you are no longer swayed by external opinions, you will feel freer, more at peace, and more content than ever before. 11th, accepting change. In this life, nothing is permanent. Everything changes, naturally and inevitably. We, whether we like it or not, are constantly confronted with change at every moment. We change, the people around us change, and the world itself never stops shifting. One of the most important lessons Stoic philosophy teaches us is to accept change as an integral part of life. Marcus Aurelius, in his deeply philosophical writings, said, "Accept whatever comes to you, woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could be more fitting to your needs?" These words highlight the idea that change is not something to fear or resist, but rather a natural part of the cosmic flow of life. Whatever happens, whether good or bad, has its place in our journey and serves a purpose in our growth. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said, "We cannot choose what happens to us, but we can choose how we respond to it." This means that while change may often make us feel anxious or unsettled, we have the power to choose how we approach it. Rather than resisting or running away from change, we can choose to embrace it with calm and reason, understanding that it is a natural part of our personal journey. Change is not always easy. It may come in the form of loss, a change in work or relationships, or even shifts in our own physical or mental state. During such times, we may feel overwhelmed and exhausted, but it is precisely during these moments that Stoic philosophy becomes most valuable. When we face change with calm acceptance, rather than anger or fear, we find opportunities for growth and strength. Seneca in his writings also emphasized that change is inevitable, and it is our resistance to it that causes us suffering. If we cling to the old and refuse to accept change, we will continue to live in anxiety and frustration. Only when we learn to accept change can we live freely and peacefully. It is flexibility and acceptance that allow us to adapt and thrive in any circumstance. One way to practice this lesson in daily life is through mindfulness. When confronted with change, instead of running away from the feelings of anxiety or fear, take a moment to stop and become aware of your emotions and thoughts. Observe them without judgment and let them pass like clouds in the sky. When you can witness change without letting it control your emotions, you will find inner peace amidst the storm. Remember, change is unavoidable. It is an essential part of life, and when we accept it, we begin to see that every change brings with it a new opportunity. an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to become a better version of ourselves. When we stop fearing change, we can open ourselves to everything that comes and goes. And in doing so, life becomes richer and more meaningful than ever before. 12th, practicing compassion and empathy. In this world, no one is an island. We exist within a web of relationships, not only with family and friends, but with all the people we encounter throughout our journey. And amidst all the struggles, pains, and challenges that each person faces, compassion and empathy become the powerful forces that connect us, creating a more harmonious and humane world. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher, taught us that the people around you are not your enemies, but your companions on the path of life. This profound statement carries a deep message about our relationships with others. We are all fellow learners and grow together on this journey of life, and empathy is the foundation of understanding, love, and deep connection. When we no longer see others as competitors, adversaries, or people to look down upon, but as fellow travelers, we begin to cultivate compassion. Epictetus also emphasized, remember that people act as they do because they too are facing their own struggles. Be understanding and do not judge. This means that each person carries their own story, their own burdens, and their own reasons for their actions. The actions of others, sometimes hurtful or frustrating, may seem difficult to understand. But if we view them through the lens of empathy, we can begin to see that each action has a context, and rather than judging, we can approach them with compassion. Compassion is not just about understanding the suffering of others, but also about actively helping when we can. When we see someone in difficulty, a kind word, a gesture of care, or an act of assistance can change their life. In a world filled with uncertainty and tension, these simple but deeply human acts can be the light in the darkness, the encouragement for those who feel helpless. Seneca, another prominent Stoic philosopher, also said, "Not everyone is easy to help, but when we help others, we are helping ourselves." These words reveal that when we act with compassion and empathy, we not only ease the pain of others, but also enrich our own souls. When we help others sincerely, we feel a connection, a sense of purpose that goes beyond our own personal gains. And it is this act of giving that makes our lives fuller and more meaningful. In modern life, where we are often swept up in the hustle and bustle of work, relationships, and personal concerns, the practice of compassion and empathy can sometimes be neglected. However, if we take the time to look around, to care for those around us, and share a little of our time and attention, the world can become a much warmer place. Start with small acts, a smile, a simple question of how someone is doing, offering help to those in need. These small gestures can create tremendous change in someone else's life. Let us practice compassion every day. Let us empathize with the struggles of others and never hesitate to extend a helping hand. Each act of kindness is not just a gift for the recipient, but a gift to ourselves. Because in giving, we receive peace of mind, understanding, and a deeper connection with those around us. 13. Reflecting and reviewing regularly. In life, every day we are confronted with decisions, actions, and choices. These decisions not only shape the life we live today, but also determine the future we will create. However, when life moves too quickly, with its constant busyness and demands, it becomes easy to slip into an automatic mode of living, where we no longer pay attention to our actions or decisions. This is why practicing reflection and regular review becomes an essential practice in our journey of personal growth and self-development. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and great Stoic philosopher, spent much of his time reflecting on his life, his actions, and his decisions. In his famous work, Meditations, he wrote, "Live as if every day is an opportunity to improve yourself." This is a crucial reminder about the power of self-awareness. We need to pause and reflect on what we have done today to assess whether our actions are in line with our values and goals. If not, we can adjust and improve the next day. One effective way to practice self-awareness is by reviewing your actions and thoughts at the end of each day. You can take a few minutes before bed to ask yourself, what did I do well today? Where did I fall short? What could I have done differently? This simple practice is incredibly powerful as it helps you identify your strengths and weaknesses And more importantly, it prevents you from repeating the same mistakes tomorrow. Seneca, another Stoic philosopher, also emphasized the importance of self-reflection. He said, "Life is not about what we have done, but how we perceive what we have done. To live a meaningful life, we not only need to act rightly, but also to evaluate those actions properly, recognizing what went well and where we can improve." Self-reflection is how we learn and grow from our life experiences. Self-awareness not only helps us better understand ourselves, but also creates the opportunity to live a more purposeful life. When you take the time to think about the events of the day, you'll realize that many challenges can be solved if you just take the time to think clearly and calmly. Every day is a lesson, and self-awareness is the tool that helps you learn from these lessons. Additionally, practicing self-awareness also helps you redefine your goals. Life is always changing, and what we deem important today may not be important tomorrow. Therefore, taking the time to regularly review your goals, values, and priorities helps you stay flexible and avoid losing your way in an ever-changing world. Epictetus taught, "Learn to distinguish between what you can control and what you cannot control." With self-awareness, you will gain a clearer understanding of the factors you can control in your life and those you cannot. This clarity helps you focus on what truly matters and take action on what you can control. Finally, self-awareness helps us become more humble. By recognizing our own mistakes and learning from them, we are less likely to repeat them in the future. Practicing self-awareness is an ongoing journey, with no end in sight. We will always have new things to learn, new experiences to grow from, and new opportunities to evolve. Make reflection a daily habit so that each of your actions and decisions is carefully considered and purposefully executed. In doing so, you not only develop as an individual, but also live a life filled with meaning and a deeper understanding of who you are. Thank you for watching our video. If you find this video valuable and meaningful, please share it with your friends and relatives. Also, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any videos from our channel in the future.